Good morning, everyone. Uh, I'm up having my morning cup of coffee, and I was just watching the Young Turks talk about the shooter, and they were explaining how the investigators haven't found a a manifesto or a reason that he did it. And in the same sentence, they were saying he was hearing voices in the walls, and he thought people were following him with microwave machines. So yes, he was obviously mentally unbalanced. He had some brain issues that were making him paranoid and delusional and all the rest that goes with that. And for some reason, Jenk can't understand why they're not seeing that as the main issue. And I was thinking back to other shooters, even the political shooters, the religious conservative shooters, and I had thought about this the other night. I was talking with clients about it, and it was not that religion is a good reason for shooting. It's not that politics is a good reason for shooting, because people use those excuses all the time. But we also understand that not everybody does this. It is a break from normal society to go out and kill lots of people for any reason. So I think the resistance to this crazy reason, and I'm going to go with religion here, like I do, is that a lot of people that are religious know where religion came from. If you have a charismatic leader that's saying God has spoken to him, he heard the voice in his head, at that point, at the point now, if they allowed this just hearing voices, so he's crazy, reasoning to sit in public awareness, people that are following pastors and religious authorities that are saying they hear the voice of God telling them to do things or telling them this is the way, they're going to have to consciously make the connection that people that hear voices in their head are having a mental issue. Not that everybody that has voices in their head is dangerous or crazy or anything. A lot of people have voices in their head. They deal with it, they understand what it is, and they go about life. It's just something in their brain making noises, and it's other parts of their consciousness or whatever reasoning or whatever workaround they do for that. Not everyone is going to go out. Not everyone that hears voices in their head is going to go out and shoot up people. But I'm going to suggest that everyone that's gone out and shot a lot of people are mentally unbalanced, whether they're religious, political, or just unbalanced in general without a manifesto, that it's not normal to go out and mass murder for any reason. Even people, I'm extremely frustrated by the drug war and prohibition and the oppression of the government and poverty, but going out and killing a bunch of innocent people or even government workers, if I was going to try and rationalize it, I understand that that wouldn't change anything. In fact, it would probably make them clamp down and be worse. So going out and killing a bunch of people, I can't really see as ever the answer, thankfully. Uh, but being mentally uh, damaged or having mental issues, I believe, is the basis for all of these shootings. Whether they're taking medication for it and people are trying to blame the medication, which I see, but why are they taking the medication? Uh, Drug addicts that go out and kill a bunch of people. Yeah, drug addicts, but you can't just blame being on drugs. There's a lot of people that take a lot of drugs that don't go out and kill a lot of people. So it's the people that are having mental issues that are self-medicating to try and treat that mental issue. And they go out and kill a bunch of people. And for some reason, everybody says, oh, it's the drugs. So I'm hoping more and more people are starting to understand that the brain, as the most complicated organ in our body, has the most potential for the most issues in the body. We have liver damage, we have prostate cancer, we have people born with their hearts outside their body, we have nerve disorders, we have all these physical disorders that we can see and treat. But when somebody has a mental disorder, suddenly we try and find any other reason for them to have done a bad activity. Uh, Drugs, politics, religion. But it all boils down to mental issues. You can have the most conservative, religious, politically active, by the worst of the word, Republican, conservative, the Tea Partier, and they could just be crazy, uh, aggressive in all of their beliefs, but they don't go out and shoot a bunch of people because they're not mentally disturbed. They don't have a hormonal or physical issue with their brain. So they're able to contain their shit. Whereas if you have somebody that has a mental disorder, they don't have to go very far over the line of conservatism or fanaticism to make the spark and make them go, oh, the voices said to do this too. So I think the mental illness is the number one issue in society today, and I think all of our politicians should be checked because I think almost all of them have the issue as well. Uh, but with religion also, I think the reason there's such a resistance to it is because once the majority of people realize that mental illness is so prevalent, uh, and needs to be addressed so severely, that they're going to have to take a look at their religious leaders and their religious texts and see who wrote them as well. And they're going to have to admit to themselves that those people that heard the voice of God were batshit crazy. And I think that's the main resistance to this, or one of the main resistance to mental disorders being treated effectively and more light being put on it, because it's going to make them question their religious books, their religious leaders, the fanatics at the edge that say they heard the voice of God. And instead of being a trusted leader, they're now going to have to admit that they are a questionable source for God's word. Just my morning thought. Peace.